right. Come back at you again. First and foremost, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Kakwadash. Second, want to give double honors to the apostles of GMS that rule of well, and the peace, blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect. And this is Shukar Corral from GMS, Virginia. And what's the topic? The inhabitants of the land of Israel now is not the people. You got to ask yourself, you have to wonder what's going on. But what you're in the days, hours to come, what you're about to see is a moving out of a people, the fake people. Matter of fact, let me do this. I don't want to make this too long, so I just want to hit the points. So, Revelation 2 and 9. I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, and what's being put out there is, who's the true people of those land, of the true inhabitants of that land, on the earth, going into Isaiah the second chapter. But what you're discovering is that those people there now is a false people. They don't follow the ways of Yahweh Shah, and they don't call upon those names. Now, Revelation 2 and 9, I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. That's going into the real Hebrew Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, West Indians. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. So what you're finding out is the people that are calling themselves those people, they're not the people at all. They are false people which were put there in 1948 by their own hands, not of Yahweh Shah or of Yahweh. This is why you don't see any peace on the earth, but utter chaos and evil and wickedness. So let me get this real quick. Let me see what'll come up. Let me see what this says. Alright, second Maccabees 15. Let me see what this says. I want to get a certain prayer of Judas Maccabees before going to war. Because as you can clearly see, there's war brewing up. Let me see. All right, so this is just one prayer. Let me see. Now, hold on. Bear with me one moment. Bear with me. There's a certain one I want. Let me see. Let me see what this says. Bear with me, y'all. Let me do this. Slack y'all. All right, I'm gonna just do this. So let me. Judas Maccabees is known in the Bible for leading the Jews' resistance against the Seleucid Empire during the time recorded in the book of First Maccabees and Second Maccabees. Before several battles, he and his men prayed and fasted, asking Yahweh for deliverance rather than trusting in numbers or military strength. But I bring this out because when Israel, the people of that land, Netanyahu, etc., before they do anything, who do they call out to? America. And this is why you see America, the people bucking up, people are rousing up, and people are going crazy and they're going mad because they're starting to see that the people that's in that land, they're causing the problem. That's like the scriptures says Obadiah the first, and then also, Job 9:24, the earth has been given to the hands of the wicked. And people are seeing you're not a godly spiritual nation at all. You are the wicked that the Bible describes and speaks of. So again, asking Yahweh for deliverance rather than trusting in numbers or military strength. And again, we all know Israel allies is what? Is America, Babylon the Great. Like the scripture says, the least shall draw out the flock. And this is what you're seeing. So here are some notable prayers and action before battle. So 2 Maccabees 15:21-24, Judas prayed while facing the army of Nicanor. He says, O Lord, thou didst send thy angel in the time of Hezekiah, king of Judea, and didst slay in the host of Sennacherib in hundred fourscore and 5,000. And see, one thing you got to remember: if these were the people of the true inhabitants of the Israelites, they would bring out certain history and they would bring forth, the prophecy, but they never do. And when you look at continue on reading, Judas Maccabees quoted this from. It says, hold on. So even so now also, O Lord of heaven, send a good angel before us for a fear and dread unto them. He was referring to the event recorded in 2 Kings 19 when Yahweh destroyed the army of Sennacherib during the reign of Hezekiah. So the point of the prayer was asking Yahweh to repeat that kind of divine intervention. So why didn't Netanyahu and the people of the inhabitants of Israel right now seek to Yahweh by showing Yahweh Shah to redeem? And again, if these people were those people, it wouldn't be no war. And I'm going to bring out that as well. Just bear with me one moment. So the number 2, prayer and fasting before fighting Gorgias. So it said before fighting the Seleucid general Gorgias, Judas and his army humbled themselves in First Maccabees 3:46 and 47. Wherefore they assembled themselves together and came to Mizpeh, and they fasted that day and put on sackcloth and cast ashes upon their heads. Then Judas encouraged them with faith. Victory in the battle standeth not in the multitude of an host, but strength coming from heaven. First Maccabees 3:19. So number 3, prayer before the battle of Lysias. Before confronting the army of Lysias, Judas and his men again prayed for Yahweh's help. So again, this is, here it is. They're going into battle, they're going into war, but you see that the main person and people in the nation that they're calling on is who? America, Trump, Nero. So it says First Maccabees 4:30-33. It says, "Blessed art thou, O Savior of Israel. Thou didst break the might of the mighty man by the hand of thy servant David. Here, Judas reference Yahweh giving victory to David over giants and enemies, showing that the same power could deliver them. So, just a history of, you know, men that was of the Lord, which they knew power came from the heaven, and they prayed to Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shah, prior to war. So why didn't Netanyahu and them people Amalek pray to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah? Because they're not the people. So I have this right here. It says the Bible contains several prophecies about the Israelites returning to their land and living safely afterward. But again, going back to 1948, they claimed that those are the real people of the Bible and the Lord, So a big contradiction. When you put two and two together, it's just not making sense. So these prophecies usually describe a time, and one thing that has helped that basically not question that the notion that them calling themselves the Jews and not the Israelites, and not all the tribes gathered into that place, is Christianity. So it says these prophecies usually describe a time when Israel is gathered from among the nations, restored to their land, and protected by Yahweh. Here are some of the key ones, and this is also in ChatGPT. So yeah, man, again, uh, the nation, the inhabitants of that land now, again, they're protected by who? America. Um, Number one, safe dwelling after restoration. So the book of Ezekiel 34, 27-28. So it says, and they shall know that I am the Lord when I have broken the bands of their yoke. They shall dwell safely in, meaning that captivity. Starting with the elect, going into what, Jude. You talking about, going into the angels going into in the chains of darkness, roughly paraphrasing. So it said, they shall dwell safely, and none shall make them afraid, and they shall no more be a prey to the heathen. So it says, after Israel is restored, they will no longer be oppressed by other nations and will live in security. Well, there's videos out right now showing you that those people in the land of Israel now who are running around scared and frightful in fear of their life. So because those certain missiles, etc., from Iran is able to reach over there and bomb. So two, gather from the nations and living safely. Ezekiel 28. When I shall have gathered the house of Israel from the people among whom they are scattered, they shall dwell safely therein and shall build houses and plant vineyards. So, number three, the book of Jeremiah 23, 5-6. Behold, the days come that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and in his days Judah shall be saved, and Israel shall dwell safely. So one thing you got to ask yourself again too, as well, is that where's the northern kingdom? Where is the northern tribes? Now you have the people in the land know that they're so-called Jews. They'll tell you that they're Judah, Benjamin, Levi, but where's the rest of the tribes? So let me see. Uh, Book of Jeremiah 30. Fear Israel living without fear. Fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, for lo, I will save thee from afar. Jacob shall return and shall be in rest and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. So after the return from exile, Israel will experience peace and security. Let me see. Amos 9 and 14. I will bring again the captivity of my people of Israel, and I will plant them upon their land, and they shall no more be pulled up out of their land. So it says, Yahweh Bashem Shah promises a permanent restoration where Israel will never again be removed. And how ultimately is that going to happen when Yahweh Shah returns? So what you see now, you're seeing it shaking up. You're seeing war brewing. You're going to eventually see how you say, you got to watch your words now. You're about to see the eradication of those fake youths that's in the land now. But like I said, I'm not going to make this thing long. I'm trying to keep it short. But Lord's will, I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. So Lord's will, we was edified for that. I'm going to say shalom.